Welcome to the Dork Forest. Jackie and her pals will never bore us. Shameless confessions
about our obsession
will make us laugh and smile. So let's explore the Dork Forest and dork out for a while.
Hey, it's Jackie Cation. Welcome to the Dork Forest. You know the websites, JackieCation.com, DorkForest.com, TheDorkForest.com. If you like a determiner. Family Pet Ancestry, if you like that joke from way back in the day. The Dork Forest is a podcast. Let's do the credits. Mike Rickberg composed and sang that song that you just heard. He sang it with his wife, Sarah Cohen. He will sing again at the end of the program his words to the Mexican hat dance. Patrick Brady is going to fix this audio, and Vilmos works on my website, JackieCation.com. DorkForest.com has on it the player, the show, the notes, either the YouTube teaser clip, just a clip of the show that has been put on YouTube, or the entire episode on YouTube is also available on the Jackie Cation YouTube channel. You can listen to the Dork Forest, God knows how you got here now, but iTunes, all of the apps and whatnot, SoundCloud, it's on allthingscomedy.com, and it is now on YouTube. And DorkForest.com has notes and a phone bonus, which was created initially because there was an app from Libsyn that you could buy for $2. And they said that there was going to be bonus content. So I created bonus content, and now they just release it on Libsyn. So it's right there. You can go to tdf.libsyn, or you can go to dorkforest.com and then just listen to it there. Here's the scoop, folks. You want to support the show, The Dork Forest? There's many ways to do it. You can use the Amazon banner and order things from Amazon. It's normal. It's a link on dorkforest.com or JackieCation.com that goes through to Amazon. You order like normal. It does not cost you extra, and it's just a great way to support the show. Another way to support the show is to get merch. If you want a Dork Forest t-shirt or a Ranger of the Dork Forest t-shirt, you get those at JackieCation.com at the store. The store also has my stand-up t-shirts, CDs, and DVD. Those are all union made here in the United States of America. There's a Spooky Reading Girl t-shirt and a new Meat Shield t-shirt. The Meat Shield is a benefit t-shirt. So it is got a picture essentially of like a June Cleaver white lady on a shield. And it says in Latin, getting in the way of bad behavior on the front. And then on the back in English, it says getting in the way of bad behavior in English. And the White Lady Meat Shield t-shirt, all profits to that will go to Black Lives Matter, the ACLU, and Southern Law Poverty, whatever. There you go. Because white people need to stand in front of other white people who are dumber than them and say, hey, you're being dumb. And that is what the joke is about. Pretty serious right here on the podcast, advertising for it. But you can get my new CD and hear that joke called I Am Not the Hero of That Story. It came out in 2017, and it was critically acclaimed. Did great on iTunes and Amazon and on Billboard. So go out and you can stream it. You can buy it. You can buy it on Amazon and iTunes as MP3s, or you can get a hard copy at JackieCation.com that I will sign if you would like to be signed. Put that in the notes. You can email me, Jackie@JackieCation.com. Not on the website right now are a couple of enamel pins that I got. There's Meat Shield enamel pins and Spooky Reading Girl enamel pins. All the benefits from the pins will go to those charities. The Spooky Reading Girl, most of the profits go to me, Jackie Cation. Very exciting. If you want to just cut out the middleman, you can just donate to the Dork Forest. There is a donation button on dorkforest.com or JackieCation.com. It is a PayPal button. I have not made it easy to donate monthly. You have to remember every month that you like the show. Hopefully you like the show. It's dork on dork dialogue, you guys. Good times. You can donate that way. Some people don't like PayPal, so they Venmo me it. And you can do whatever you like. You can hand me cash at a show. JackieCation.com also has a tour page, which will tell you where I'm doing stand-up comedy. And I hope you like the show. It's really fun. Let's get into it. Hey, it's Jackie Cation. I'm in my living room with Dana Eagle. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's been a while. We've been trying to do it. We've been trying to do it.
I know, but we made it happen. The holidays.
We did make it happen. I know it. It is the holidays. It's January 2nd today, the day that this will go up.
January 2nd.
You're the first episode of 2018.
It is. So this means I'm not going to achieve my 2017 goals.
Which is to be on the Dork Forest.
But I got it. I squeezed it in for 2018. I'm glad you turned that around for me. I've been lamenting.
Let me tell you, Dana Eagle has written a book, by the way, How to Be Depressed.
A guide.
And it is available on the Amazon. And also, if you want a signed copy, you go to DanaEagle.com and throw some cash that way.
Yes.
And then you would sign it.
And then I would sign it. And I would also just like to add that a lot of people are like, I know how to be depressed. And it's not about, I don't help you be depressed. I help you make the most of it. Like, as long as you're going to be depressed, you want to do it right. You want to find your depressed pose. You want to know exactly how to bring others down with you. There's no need to be on the bottom alone.
Right, there isn't. And here's the thing about depression, as Maria has been doing Bamford's been doing as a joke. She's like, some people are like, oh, I wish you weren't so depressed. She's like, oh, it's been a cash cow. It's been a real cash cow for me. So, and and something about weakness is my brand. That's her.
Well, that's true. I mean, that's the thing is, like, nobody wants to hear us go up and make jokes about how all the lights are turning green for us. And be like, great.
Right.
Thanks.
So Dana Eagle, by the way, does stand-up comedy. I don't know if you can tell.
I do.
It's at Dana Eagle Tweets on Twitter. And DanaEagle.com has links to if you forget Dana Eagle Tweets.
If you forget Dana. Oh, and also you did just ask me all these questions. And I eliminated it. But I'm going to have a little web series up on the YouTube.
Oh, there you go.
It's called, well, we changed the name partly through, but some part of it is called Mood News and some part of it is called Mood Swings. And I just take the information that's coming out in all the science news and the brain news.
Oh, okay.
And I just do like a silly little monologue. It's finding its way. You know, it's like
because every day they're saying, well, you know, carrots will keep your eyes good. Exactly. And they're like, oh, carrots are going to fuck with your thyroid.
Exactly.
Or whatever. And you're like, oh, what is the new news of what it's doing to your brain?
Right.
The new brain news,
the new
essentially.
Brain and human behavior. And they test out our behavior on mice. And then like the first one is scientists have discovered a blood test to help diagnose depression. They're calling it the greatest breakthrough since, hey, how you feeling?
There you go, right?
Yeah, so it's just silly little things like that. But I'm trying to
a little YouTube
build
series.
On it. Yeah, a little YouTube series.
That'll be fun. So Dana Eagle, you guys, find her and let's talk about your dorkdom. I got the greatest list in the world, but let's start with the first one, which is a list about a list, which is...
There's so much shame in this.
Craigslist.
There's a lot of shame in my Craigslist.
There should be no shame in your Craigslist.
I got a little lost on it for a little while. Like, it was my friend is what happened. And I mastered a skill that was completely unnecessary for moving me ahead in life.
And yet,
there we go. And there we go.
I'm going to tell you something.
I was surprised. You did not know the Craigslist at all.
I got no Craigslist. I got no Craigslist game. I know. You'd think Andy, I think, has an eBay game. No Craigslist game, but he is a collector of items.
I know.
And Craigslist, I believe, aids you in your collecting.
It does. It aids you in your collecting. It aids you in your sort of mindlessness of browsing and looking for things, which, by the way, going back to brain stuff is your dopamine. Your brain issues dopamine when it thinks it's going to get a reward. That's why
it's sort of like fake shopping. Yes. I used to do fake shopping back in the day. I was like, I need to buy something for some reason, and I didn't know why.
Amazon. How big is your Amazon wish list?
Oh, you know what? I don't even have an Amazon game going. God. I got a little bit of a wish list.
Yeah.
But some of it's been fulfilled. Nobody go to my wish list and fucking send me something.
But that's good. That means you're doing things in real life, not in fake life.
Well, here's what when I lived with Jennifer McLean. I don't know if you remember Jennifer McLean, a stand-up comic from the early 2000s.
It would come back to me.
You would, if you saw
I'm lifting
her.
the file.
Right. She was my roommate, and I would occasionally want to. She did a thing that then I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. Mm-hmm. And I would take $5 and I would go to the 99 cents only store and I could buy 5 items. Or 4.5, right? And it was kind of fun because it was crap.
Yes.
But I just needed to buy something for some reason.
Sometimes you need a treat.
That's it.
Sometimes you're just like, I just need, like, I don't celebrate any of these holidays. I'm a heathen.
Right.
But you know.
Not even solstice. Not even Santa. No?
No.
Did you get any of it when you were a kid?
Yeah, I mean, we did Hanukkah, you know, we did that stuff, but you know.
The one decent gift and the other
8 nights of cheap
gack.
shit. Yeah.
And, all right.
And, So we did that. Yeah, my parents like, and then at some point it became like a negotiation. Like you could have one big gift or a bunch of little gifts, and it's like not. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I'd rather get somebody something they need that I knew they wanted than and same here.
Do you do birthdays?
Do I do birthdays? Like
your own?
Like my own birthday?
Has anybody ever cared about your birthday?
Oh, yes.
Oh, good.
How about you?
No, nobody's ever cared about my birthday.
Really?
Yeah, I'm the youngest of six.
I love your childhood.
My childhood is hilarious.
I mean, it's hilarious from an outsider's point of view. I don't think it was fun.
I lived through it. And parts of it have created perfectly fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it was. Everything our parents did then is illegal now.
Right. Which and some of it shouldn't be. I was at Best Buy yesterday, December 26th. I don't recommend it. But there was a woman there, and I don't know what she was doing, but she had like a 3-4-year-old little girl, right? Mm-hmm. And the girl could not navigate to the right screen to watch some video on the phone that she had been handed, right? Mm-hmm. She had lost the screen. And so she started screaming, and he's crying and screaming, and her mom looks down and not a drop of anger. And she doesn't grab the phone or anything. She just is like, has her hand out. The kid puts the phone in it, still sobbing. And she's navigating it, and she goes, stop crying. There's no point to it. And then hands in that tone of voice. It was the greatest moment of parenting I've seen in a while.
That is, I know. Oh, yes. I wish to bring back some of those days when,
it's a halcyon day of sarcasm and raising your kids with sarcasm.
Yes.
It can be done. And the thing is it didn't mean that Nancy didn't love me. It meant that she was tired. And she's like, I don't have time to explain very slowly and patiently why you have to fix this. I'm going to say, hey, moron, rise to the occasion or whatever.
I'm not going to feed it. That's what it is. Because if you stay there, then you just keep feeding it. And then you believe that that's your way to navigate life.
Right. I've had a couple of bad instances, but I will tell you a good instance. My sister-in-law, Margaret Boyer, my brother Phil's wife, the way she dealt with the children until they kind of cottoned onto it and started using it as a way to navigate life. It was the greatest. Under the age of 5 or 6, she would say, you can't do that. And then they would cry, right? Because they're toddlers and babies. And then she would fucking bore them to death. She would explain exactly why. Forever.
And they would get it.
And they would just get bored at like 3 or 4. And then when they were like 6 or 7, they're like, oh, I see what she's doing. And then it would be an outpatience of each other. And then she would snap.
Right. Because sometimes they just want them to engage. And then it's like, well, you're engaging me, but you're so boring.
Yeah.
This is not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't actually want that piece of candy or piece of fruit or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of also amazing parenting. But then I had my friend Jillian, literally, her boy, I remember this 10 years ago, we were watching the most violent movie you could watch with a 5 or 6 year old, which was Lord of the Rings, the middle one, and the Two Towers. It was when Sora and the kid always left the room. He'd seen it hundreds of times. He was 6 years old, and I was like, "This movie is super violent," and she goes, "Yeah, he leaves when the orcs are being created. I really like it. It's nice." And just two kids. And he's like 4 to 6 years old, whatever. And I was like, she said, yeah, some violent things I don't care about. Some things I do. Like he wants a gun. I'm not going to get him a toy gun. Right. He's got a laser blaster for Star Wars, and that's a gun. So that's enough. And he doesn't have a knife. And he's listening because he's 4. And he's, and he goes, I want a knife. And she goes, you can't have a knife. And he's like, what? And she's like, you can't have a knife. You have the laser blaster. It's fine. And I think you have a sword. Close enough. And he's like, I want a knife. And he storms out and he slams the door and to his room. And she goes, don't slam the door. I'm giving you to the neighbors. And he opens the door and he goes, that's not funny. And he slams it again. So I don't mind the raising of children with sarcasm.
Yes, it is. It's important for them to learn the sense of humor, sense of humor thing.
Yeah.
Yes, and it's so much better than losing your and because then also with the stand-up, hasn't the sense of humor helped, like in terms of the
you get perspective. I think your ego is more right-sized. If people are not just saying no, they're saying no,
right,
no. What? Why would you think?
Yeah,
you are not the king of the world. That's all sarcasm is it's alerting you to the fact that your ego has blown out of proportion as to what you want.
Right, and it's a great middle ground for like, look, I don't want to, coddle your feelings,
right?
And then I don't want to
scream
them,
right? I don't want to scream at you.
But they're true. They're just irrelevant.
Your feelings are real. In other news, I can't really care about them. You are the only one who cares about your feelings right now. But definitely feel them over there. And
my mom had this one that she did in the store if we started to have a meltdown, where she would lean over really quiet and she would just whisper in our ear. She'd be like, "Are you trying to embarrass me? Because if you are, I could embarrass you much more. Trust me." I was like, got it.
Noted.
Message received.
How old were you when she started doing that you remember that?
Oh, that was just meltdown one, and you just knew that she was not playing around. Yeah.
And she was dead.
And it was so much.
And she wasn't doing stage whisper
thing is so much more powerful than the getting angry and losing your shit.
Was it a stage whisper? Like, could the neighbors?
No one could hear it. It was just
a little moment between.
It was just a moment, right in the eyes, a little intimate moment. Are you trying to embarrass me? Because if you are, I can embarrass you far more. Trust me.
Oh, see, there's a reason we don't have children, Dana Eagle and I.
I know. And yet, Kira, she won't have she should have at least one panel with no parenting, with people who don't have kids on.
Yeah.
Because we do know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We're not.
What panel is Kira Sultanovich doing that we're not allowed to be on? What's happening?
She has a podcast, but it's for parents only.
Oh.
You have to have a kid.
Well, Kira Sultanovich.
Yeah.
You know, she has another one with Runtowski where she pets your hand and looks deeply into your soul.
I did the show. I did the show over at Flappers.
Oh, you did
that one was hysterical.
A live one?
Yeah, I did a live one.
Oh, very nice.
And it was it was
outstanding.
It was outstanding, and yet that challenging thing of like, it's always weird when you're not, there's like three funny people, and it's like, I don't want to step on toes, and
well, right, the give and take of the comedy panel. Very hard. Very hard.
It is hard.
It's true.
So
anyway,
let's see if we could get a kid on Craigslist. No, you can't get a kid.
Are there things that you're not allowed to put up on like, because there's clearly porn is probably on Craigslist, right?
I think that's on the classified. There is somebody on there who I think is always wanting to buy or sell women's dirty panties. There is
dirty. What? Oh,
yeah, worn. I don't know,
like
dirty. Maybe I shouldn't say dirty. I assume
I'll take worn. That by definition, not clean,
dirty. I don't think you're allowed to sell guns.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you're a gun.
How about BB
case.
guns? Maybe, or shotguns. You know what's not regulated?
I'm not going to flag it.
Shotguns and BB guns are not regulated.
Really?
Yeah. And shotguns, you could kill someone with a shotgun.
What's the difference between a shotgun and a regular gun?
A shotgun holds these shells that have a bunch of BBs in them, like lots of BBs.
Oh.
And they can be heavier or not heavier. And someone right now is going, wow, do you not know about guns, Jackie? But to my knowledge. So, okay, let's start with the beginning. Craigslist. It's Craigslist.com.
It's Craigslist.
Who's Craig?
Okay, it's Craigslist.org. Craig is this guy.
.org.
Yeah, who never sold out. Like, he has had so many offers to buy, and he would not take any of them. And so it's basically, Craigslist is a little bit of what put all of our newspapers out of business, because it is basically classified ads is what it is.
Oh.
And
that's what used to pay for.
That's what used to pay
for newspapers.
For newspapers. So
does it cost to post something on Craigslist?
It only costs, I think, if you're posting a job. So, but it's nationwide. But what you'll do is you'll go to Los Angeles, and then it'll show you. So it'll show like all of the Los Angeles listings, but then underneath it, it'll also show you like the surrounding areas. Like, here we found these outside of your area, like Inland Empire, Orange County, Ventura County. Okay. So here's how I first came to Craigslist. When I got my apartment like, I don't like, this is going to sound so Jewy. I don't like spending money.
It sounds human. The Jews are just humans who have been personified as not liking to spend money. So are the Scots.
Okay, good.
The Scottish also don't want to spend money. Armenians also would like to squeeze a deal. Anyway,
yes, everybody likes a good deal.
Everybody likes a good deal.
But I don't like spending money. So then I was like, and then the only thing worse than spending money is spending money on crap, where you're like, now I spent money on something and it's a piece of crap.
Right. So that's why I've nenever wanted to go to Craigslist, because I'm like, well, I don't want your crap. I can get my own crap.
But here's the thing. I could get crap that was out of my price range in the store, especially in LA, where
someone else thinks it's crap.
Yes.
And you're like, that is not crap.
Yes. And as long as I'm confessing my shameful secrets, I wanted Pottery Barn furniture.
Okay.
I wanted
specifically the furniture of the chain
Pottery Barn.
Pottery Barn.
I wanted to live at the Pottery Barn.
You would like to live at the Pottery Barn?
I like it.
Why?
I don't know. It's just
international. Does it feel international?
I think it's like that thing where it's like, it's not too girly and frou-frou.
Right.
But it's not like the bare mid-century mod. It's like, it feels like it's kind of like down the middle.
It's kind of lived in a little more, but cozy. It has a homey feel to it.
Yes.
On purpose. Pier 1 does that too, but more international. But you're right. Pottery Barn has sort of an overstuffed pillow feel to it.
Yes.
Do you enjoy an overstuffed pillow?
Yes. I like an overstuffed pillow. Also, their wood is like very heavy, like everything feels solid, not like it's going to tip over.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So, but one of the very first things that I bought that got me like hooked in was I had to, of course, in LA, you have to get your fridge. So I had to get a fridge.
Oh, yeah, you got to get your fridge. People don't know this. In Los Angeles, they rent you an apartment. No fridge.
No fridge.
Often a stove, but no fridge. And it's the dumbest thing ever.
And Brian Regan has a thing where he says, can we just get everybody in California in a stadium and just be like, leave your refrigerator where it is?
I don't remember that bit. That's an awesome bit.
Yes. And so I needed the fridge. So I needed a bed too, but I was just going to go with the air mattress. And so I negotiated with this woman for her fridge, and then I went over. Well, she was going to be leaving. She was just here for pilot season with her show business daughter at the Oakwoods or something.
Yeah.
So that day when I'm getting the fridge, she's like, all right, well, I'm going, and I think maybe she wanted me to take the bed, and I was just like, no, I don't have money for it. And and then I just gave and she's like, take whatever you want. And then I just gave the moving guy extra money. We took all of her furniture, brought it. So I got everything else for free.
Yeah.
And it was it was actually a lot of Pier 1 stuff. Brought it up, and then one by one, as I didn't want it, I sold it off for more money than I paid for it.
And then you just turned around and gave it to somebody else from Craigslist. And part of Craigslist, if I'm right.
Sold it.
Well, no, that's what I mean. You sold it.
Like a Jew, I'm an atheist. But I was raised Jewish.
And you really want to own that whole Judaism thing. Do it. Make it your own.
Yeah.
It's some ladies want to own being a lady a lot. And but here's the crazy thing though. So you get a bunch of stuff for free, and you have brought a moving guy with you.
Yes.
To pick it up.
Yes.
Because you have to pick up stuff on Craigslist. They're not in charge of shipping their nonsense out into the world.
No,
like
no.
eBay. eBay will send you stuff.
No, they're not gonna ship it. So you have to bring your own person. I have the compact SUV 2001 RAV4. Yeah. And I could pull my seats out.
That was Maria's favorite car, and it got stolen.
No way.
Yeah, her RAV4 got stolen in 2001.
Oh my God.
She had just bought it.
Oh, no one's going to steal this. It's really old.
Right. Somebody tried to steal my 89 Mazda 323 hatchback.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah. And they had ripped out the steering column. And I was like, oh, my God, just push it and pop the clutch, you weirdo. Anyway, so go.
That's very funny. So you have to kind of like get your own thing. You figure out how to lift it.
Yeah.
Especially in LA, you have to figure out what floor they're on, stuff like that.
Right.
But here's where the gold is on Craigslist is if you have a high brand thing that you're into, right?
Yes.
And you're just like, this does not make sense for my budget to invest in this kind of a thing. You go on Craigslist and you just put it in there. If there's something that feels like when you want a treat, like if you like Urban Outfitters or Anthropologie,
or like Jimmy Choo shoes, or somebody said, can you?
Yes.
I think you can get those on Craigslist, right?
Yes, you could probably get them a little harder because you got to, maybe get like the right size and everything. But yeah, you could just throw it in there. Sometimes if there's a certain material that you like,
like you're a sewing person.
Yes, or I used to like brushed nickel, and sometimes I tell you, I had a problem. I did have a problem.
I used to like brushed nickel. Please buy the shirt.
I would just put that in, or I would put in like a vintage or retro, and like really industrial. If you put in the search term industrial, and then you always want to put in owner, right? Because you don't want to get a business. So then you want to click owner, and then
wait a minute. So in the search thing, do you put the word owner, or is there what
no.
you put in industrial?
So you would put in industrial, right? And then everything industrial, and then to the right there's a little thing, and you want to put in owner.
Like a filter.
Yeah, filter.
Okay.
So you want to put in owner, and then chances are what you're going to want to do is then go in and make this starting one at $5, because a lot of people just list things as $1, but then when you open up the ad, they're asking for a different price,
right?
And then sometimes like I'll order it of like you could filter it lowest to highest. So recently, because I am pretty much off the Craigslist, but recently I wanted one of the apartment washing machines.
Okay,
right, and
one of those nice small,
right,
your own washing machine like a grown up.
Yes, except I don't have the washer dryer hookup, so I have to get the apartment one. Those are generally crap, but there's one really good brand, Higher 24E, and I wanted the Higher 24E, and it took me a little while. I had to go in and check, and everyone was selling the 21, the 23. I went to somebody, they had listed the wrong one, so that was like, and then at some point
what's the brand name of the good one? Higher
H-A-I-E-R.
H-A-I-E-R.
24E was the one that I wanted.
Is the number of the item.
Is the model,
sort of
is the most
number.
recent model number that I want.
And they kind of nailed it. Like previously, because what's
for Higher, the 21 was good. Apparently, the 21 was good, and I think maybe the 23 was. And so for the Higher, but previous to that, it was like all these little ones.
If you don't have a hookup, what do you do? How does it work,
Jackie? I live in one of those old apartments where it gives me a bathtub and a washing machine, a bathtub and a shower.
Okay.
And, but they're not attached. They're two different things.
Oh, okay.
But what a lot of people do is they also give you on the Higher, they give you a sink attachment.
Okay.
So you hook it up to the sink. I don't know how this technology works, but you can turn on the sink. And it won't go through until you press start, but it has a quick sink hookup. But mine is hooked up to my bathtub.
Okay.
But it's outside of my bathtub. It's big, and it holds a lot of stuff in it. And
right. Do you have a dryer or do you hang?
Well, that was the thing. I could get a dryer now, but I've always hung up. Like I've never been. I've never been a fan of the dryer. No.
Okay.
I always feel like that's what puts holes in things. It's
interesting.
Yeah,
that's speculative fiction. I don't know that that's true, but I like the idea that it might be.
I've gotten into this argument because it's heat that makes things chemical processes happen. Yeah. So like your food rots out of the fridge because cold stops and then heat makes chemical.
So do you always wash in cold?
I prefer warm, but now that I have the washing machine, you're really supposed to run cold through the machine.
Okay.
So, but I think I smell okay, right?
Yeah, you smell. Did you guys hear that? Her smelling her own arm.
I know, and I smell like my forearm. Like, and that's not where the odor would come from. It would come from beneath my arm.
Right beneath your, yeah. It's, well, that, first of all, is fascinating. So you got that item by, so you, industrial, filter.
So I kept, the other ones kept coming up. And then I will say there does come a point where you go, okay, you know what? Maybe just put down the money and go freaking buy it. Because you also have to remember, you're not going to be able to return on Craigslist. So you really have to feel okay with the people you're talking to and getting it from. And I always go, how are you going to feel if this breaks in a month?
Right.
You know? And so, but when, in one weekend, 2 people were selling the 24E. So it sells in Target for like anywhere between $320 and $360.
Okay.
And 2 people selling it on Craigslist for $150.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
So less than half. And that's the joy of Craigslist.
And that's the joy. I got it for $120.
And you picked it up yourself.
I picked it up in the RAV4. The guy had it downstairs. I looked at it not as brand new as he said it was, but good enough. I think I also had confused the ads. I think one of them said I just got it 6 months ago for my wedding. And I did ask both people for receipts too, so that in case it did, but nobody had them. But I just decided to bite the bullet.
So you can ask for receipts.
Yeah.
And then, so it's a washing machine. You're not a large human.
No.
He helped you put it in your car?
He helped me put it in my car.
Do you live on the first floor?
No, I live on the third floor. How did I get it up?
There were a couple of
steps. There were 2 steps from the garage to the elevator.
Okay.
And I had to do
Do you have a hand truck?
Ramp.
Do you own a hand truck? Andy wants a hand truck.
Andy should totally get a hand truck. Here's the thing. There's this really good hand truck that my neighbors have. Yeah. And I forget, and it's a very light one, and it folds up, and you get it at Costco, and I've borrowed theirs before, and theirs holds far more weight than it should, where you're like, this should not, and I'll get you the name of that one.
Maybe I'll get him a hand truck. His birthday's coming up.
This one is really good. It's the best one. So I just had what do they call it? I don't know, just like what the movers use. And I used that, and I put up a ramp, and then I got it upstairs, cleaned it off. Sometimes things have other people's dirt on them. I'm not crazy about that. I prefer my own dirt to other people's.
New dirt.
Yes. But
foreign dirt is not what we're looking for.
Let me give you, if we have time, the tips for the Craigslist.
We totally have time.
We totally have time.
Let's
okay.
do this.
This is really important.
Craigslist tips.
Right. First of all, use the Craigslist for your treats. Like, now I'm trying to get other people hooked onto it, but it's like
that's what the dorkdom is. That's what the Dork Forest is for.
Yeah.
Why just treats? Not for staples. Just treats.
Well, the treats will get you hooked in, but okay. Yeah, I mean, so like you have some of your audio equipment here. Like I wanted that, and like I've been checking the Craigslist and going, should I get it there? Should I get it on Amazon? And so it can sort of become like one of those mindless things that wastes time and gives you nothing in the end.
Right. But is it soothing? Andy will sometimes just scroll through eBay for good times.
The whole world will go away for a little while, and it's just lovely. And then I have like all these check marks of favorites, and then the next day, like I'm
so you could favorite stuff.
You could favorite stuff. Then
you got to create an account. Is that what you're doing?
You can create an account. The other thing you should do is like after go to your favorites at the end and copy the link down, so then you could get back to the link later. That's how I usually do it. But usually,
do you have a document going? With the links,
I have a document going of the things that I want. Mm-hmm. That I'm sort of like looking for. Like I want large door shutters for my balcony.
Okay.
But like those are really expensive. I'm not going to buy those, but those are the kinds of things.
They're also weirdly sized and super unique.
Right. And I'm more just using it as like a cover up. They built a building in front of all my windows, and it's not
I'm so sorry.
Very sad about it.
Right. We live in a cave. So I would like new curtains.
Right. So curtains, I feel like, are one of those things where if you find... Okay, so yes, I actually need curtains too. And there is somebody selling the Pottery Barn curtains of the color I want.
I think these are from Pier 1.
On Craigslist for $50 a panel. And I'm just like, oh no, $50 for 2 panels.
And are these panels?
These are panels. Here's what troubles me about curtains.
Okay.
They sell them... Like you'll find it and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's a good price. But then it's for 1 panel.
Right.
Whoever needs 1 panel.
Well,
when you walk in and go, oh, I like your curtain. No, It's always curtains.
Can you also see that we have these weird shades?
Yeah, you have
those roller shades in the kitchen. They don't fit the windows.
Yeah.
They're just 2 per window in an effort to...
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, we need new curtain rods and kitchen curtains.
Okay, so here's a connected problem that I have, which is the Google DIY. You just Google DIY and then you go to images. Now, this is a problem. Even my neighbor who is like he redoes like kitchens and stuff like
he's
that.
A contractor, real guy.
Yeah, and designer, like really high end stuff. Like I'll show him things and he'll be like, don't do that. he's like just
pay someone.
Yeah, exactly. But sometimes there are good things. So here's one for curtains. You have the hooks. You could get the things where it's just the clips.
Yeah.
And then what you could do is you can actually do a tablecloth, which they price is much cheaper. and it's not going to necessarily look like a tablecloth.
Right, no, it'll look
that
like
sounds really tacky when I say it, but if you go to DIY Google, you'll see a lot of ways in which people do it, and they show you how to make like a little fold.
I'm not Googling the letters do-it-yourself, DIY. You are going to something called DIY Google?
No. You just go to Google, put in DIY curtains, and then all these people are going to have all these
suggestions
ideas of how you could do your own curtains without being taken by that freaking Bed Bath Beyond.
Man. Now, do you see our floor, our kitchen floor? Andy designed
I like that floor.
And then we hired tile people to come in. And that tile is like, when you go to Target?
Yeah.
It's industrial tile, so it's a lot cheaper. Oh. So Andy was like, because he wants to redo the kitchen, and we don't have $1 million. Like, he wants to blow out 2 walls and make the kitchen bigger, right? He wants to do a thing.
Oh, you guys have ownership here.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that changes
bought this
everything.
Top of the market. We're not small. We're not smart.
But you're congratulations.
Thank you. But we do own, and it doesn't matter because I'm never moving again. So who cares? By the way, because this is a one floor, 2-bedroom, 1-bath, 1951 tract house.
Why would you want anything else?
This is the exact house that my grandmother grew old in. And that's what I wish to grow old in a 1-floor, 2-bedroom, 1-bath.
Can I? Yeah.
There's no reason to do anything.
Yes. The only reason to have a bigger home is if you can have servants, like Downton Abbey. Because
Downton Abbey.
Like, I'm in a 1-bedroom, and it's really large. It's like over 1,000 square feet. I don't own it. It's rent-controlled West Hollywood. And even there, like, it's too... like, you just end up filling all the space. And
Right. And this is 1,000 square feet, but you can't tell because Andy collects things.
This looks like a home, though. That's the difference.
It's super homey. And we got the Christmas tree opposite because Christmas goes till January 6th because of Armenian
But
Christmas.
I also have a feel here like there's a lot of other rooms. Probably because I see a lot of doors in my sight line.
Right.
Okay, but Andy, yes, listen, I could, if you ever need alone writing time, I could sit and dork out with Andy and we could look up some DIY things.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know if Andy's like me where it, online is like an alternative universe where I have skills that do not exist in real life.
If you can find things online, that is its own. I read Ready Player One. I know what's going on.
Yes.
So
we had that. We just had that book for book club.
Oh, did you?
Ready Player One.
It's adorable, right? Yeah. Good times. Now, here's my question. And you said, email me a couple of things that you want.
Yes.
Did you try and find, because we have this set, by the way.
It made me so happy, the assignment.
This set of furniture. We bought it 10, 11 years ago at a Salvation Army outlet thing over in South Pass.
Okay.
And I never knew I wanted matching furniture until we bought this whole set. This is the couch. That's a big chair. That's a love seat. They all have this weird hieroglyphics on the front of it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all distressed now, the leather, which happened within 8 months of us getting it. But when we first got it, it was all just perfect. And it was, I think that this was at one time, this is the provenance this is the story.
This is the backstory you've given it?
That I've created for this set of furniture is, I believe that this furniture was in the foyer of a business. I believe in a nice business, they had a love seat, a couch, and a chair. Now, so what we want, though, because we have a 1951 tract house, is some sort of mid-century modern set, kind of like this, like a love seat, maybe a couple of chairs, one chair is fine, couch.
Okay. Oh, you know what I just realized? I'm not online with you.
Oh.
I didn't get online with but I did look up the shed one. That was the other one that you gave me.
Right.
But for mid-century, let me give you this hint on the thing. Oh, yeah, I have to get on your online thing.
Here's the online information.
Okay. Oh, you didn't want to announce it to everybody?
Well, it's not like people are going to drive by my house and get on my JK plus AA. We're romantic, you guys. While Dana Eagle finds the internet here at the house.
But let me just tell you a really good tip. Everybody thinks the best time to get on the Craigslist is at the end of the month when people are moving. And it is a very good time, especially you'll get those people who are just like, I'm leaving, just take it. Wait, did I put in the right one? Okay, wait a second. And but this is actually what the best time is to get on is a few days after the first of the month.
Okay.
Because there's this thing that happens after people move.
Yeah.
Right? And they've just gone through the hell of moving. They see something's not going to fit. And they're so done where it's like they just want it out of there.
Yeah.
And they're like, we don't care. Just get it.
If you
take
pick it up.
out. Yes.
Yeah.
So for mid-century modern, I'll be honest with you, that one I did not look up as much because I didn't look up a set.
Yeah.
But you're going to find.
So what would I do? I would.
Okay. So what we can do here is we could put in.
By the way, I'm talking to Dana Eagle. It's at Dana Eagle Tweets, and it's How to Be Depressed, a guide. And you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on at danaeagle.com.
Right.
And Dana is Dana. Eagle is Eagle.
Just like the bird.
E-A-G-L-E.
So I just put in mid-century. So now I put in mid-century right there. Oh, wait. I don't know how we ended up in Palm Springs. We're not in Palm Springs. Let's go to Los Angeles.
Let's never be in Palm Springs.
Palm Springs would have a lot of stuff. So we put that in. Then we put in owner.
There's a click.
Let's go to owner. We could go because obviously furniture is your best bet. Some people misclassify things. They'll put it in household. They'll put it in general.
Or couch.
You want couch.
Yeah, because maybe if there's a couch,
and
they have a matching.
There's also sofa.
Yeah, there's sofa.
Bed.
Right.
And then what I'm going to do is
that's a good looking chair right there.
That is a good looking chair. Is we're going to put in $5. And then I'm going to order it not by relevancy, but by low to high. Because I'm assuming if you're on Craigslist, you want
to get rid of
you want a good price. Like you see, oh crap, that one didn't take. And then you can also now they have a thing where it's like you could put in. Now that's another thing you want to look at is sometimes you want to see what it is the other things that they're selling too.
Okay.
So then you could get a take because sometimes you look at the picture and you're like, does that look good in real life or is it cheap? And then sometimes when you look at the other things that they're selling, you could kind of see like, oh, these people have good taste or they don't have good taste. See, mid-century couches coming up is pretty expensive here though, because here's a bench for $5.50.
Yeah, that's expensive. We could go to Living Spaces and spend $5.50 on a mid-century.
Now
thing.
I feel like I'm not coming through, but hold on here because we could do
sofa. Did they have sofas in the mid-century?
And then you also have the mid-century. Some people might spell it with the. This is why you have to be committed. Is because some people are going to spell the mid-century as 2 words or a hyphenated word.
Oh, because it gets that specific. You have to do different spellings, do different words, different combinations, because they're all listed differently. I think that's why it fell apart for me because I got bored.
Yes.
And you have to want it.
You have to really want the sofa. So, like, these are not good prices at all here.
This is not what we're looking. What about the we were talking about a
shed.
It's not a Andy said shed. What we really want is
I know.
Like a gaming space where I could have a podcast.
Okay. So I got it.
That kind of thing.
Okay. I'll be honest with you. I was not particularly impressed with these prices, but here's a 10 by 10 for $500. That's his asking price, right?
Okay.
And Andy wanted 20 by 7? Oh, that's a little small for gaming. The 10 by 10. But he said it's in good condition. It's assembled and I can help you disassemble it. Okay. So that one I'm not too thrilled with. Here's 14 by 10. We're getting closer.
Bigger.
Not, but no go. You got it. You got to still get big. Look at how big that is.
It's big. It's
okay.
It's storing some wood. And
there's, wait a second. And let me try another search here.
Another version.
Of
the same thing.
Because I think what happened was I decided on your behalf that you could go smaller.
You're like, why would you want something that big? We already have a shed out there. I call it the spider shed.
Oh, okay.
That's where we're keeping all the spiders.
8 foot by 20 foot San Gabriel, $2,200.
Okay.
Now,
that seems pretty good, actually.
And here's a 12 by 10 for $2,500. Now, these are just the starting prices. Once you start to figure out why the person is selling it, that's when you get to go in and be your right wing and take advantage of. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Andy enjoys haggling.
Okay, here's how I do the haggle generally, and it depends how badly I need it or want it. Like, did I find the exact one that I wanted? Yeah. But generally, the way I do it, if I don't think it's something that's very much in demand, is I'll just say something like, here's what I have.
Yeah.
And I'll say, I've been looking for this. Here's what I have. If I understand that this, and what I do is I'll flatter them. I understand that this is worth far more than that, but this is all I have right now. If there's any chance you can come down to that price, get back to me. But once you have
Elliot Cation. This is exactly what I was raised to do. This is clearly a beautiful item. I would love.
But once you lose one or two, then you start getting that desperation thing.
Yeah.
So
fair enough. You just you play the game. You play the game. And some people like doing it. Other people are like, just take this away from my home. And then you don't even have to haggle, right?
Right. And that's the few days after the month trick. That's when it's like, you get them and they just need it out. They just need it that's to like the way you said, I'm never moving again.
Right.
That's how people, they're like, I just need this to be over. I don't care how it ends. I don't care how much money I lose. I would pay you at this point to take it.
Right.
There's been fights over it. They're like, just get it out of here.
Yeah. Take it.
So but yeah, there's loads of fun to be had. But I thought he would want more like also action figures too.
Oh no, please do not encourage that.
Don't encourage
there's so many action figures, and he received 15 Hot Wheels for Christmas. And he needs, you know what he needs? He needs a new Hot Wheel display case.
That one I could do. I have a fantastic display case at home that I got, and it was like a Restoration Hardware.
Okay.
One of those metal and glass ones. I think I got it I think I haggled them down to like the 150, 200, and then I did have to pay to get it delivered, and that was like another 75 or something.
Right.
So, but yeah, you could see like there's a lot of stuff. And again, you have to kind of be committed and go through.
Well, the one that he likes, we got it for him he has two of them already from Amazon, and I believe they were $99 a piece. And he got one for Christmas one year and one for his birthday another year.
Oh, okay.
So, and they're the perfect size for Hot Wheels. And they have a mirror on the back end so you can see the other side of the car.
I collect Hess trucks.
What's that?
You don't know what? Okay, so on the East Coast, we used to have we had these gas stations. I think we still have them, and they're the Hess gas station. And
HESS?
HESS. And then they have these trucks, and they like light up. That's what we used to get for Hanukkah. Yeah, they were always 18-wheelers, and then more recently they switched to fire trucks, and then they also had like a space shuttle, and then there's another space shuttle in it. I will take a photo and send it.
Yes,
I think
please.
that's better to put up I think people would be far more impressed with me if they saw the picture of my Hess trucks than if they just saw a picture of me.
I do not believe that to be true. So you can send me a picture. Have you ever purchased a Hess truck on the Craigslist?
Okay, so the Hess trucks came about because we had them when we were kids, and then my father.
Why did you have them? Did somebody work for Hess?
No, it was like that thing of, we didn't. I mean, you remember. I think we're approximately the same age. It wasn't like then, like it is now, where you go into the store and there's gifts everywhere. But it was like the gas station sold the trucks around holiday time as a gift for your. Yeah, now my parents
in the Appalachians, I take it, in the 30s. Well, there was just this one shiny thing that we could get the kids in an orange. We sent away for an orange, and they got a truck. I don't know why they bought
this happen?
How many kids in your family?
There were just two, and I really liked the trucks. And now I'm like, how did my parents not know that I was gay?
Do you have a brother or a sister?
I have a brother.
Okay. And so you both got these trucks for Christmas.
We both got the trucks. Yeah.
For years.
For Hanukkah. Yeah, we would get them for a few years. And I think we had a couple of them left over. And then I think as a joke when we were in college or as adults, my father had seen them again and then just for nostalgia bought them.
Right.
And then I was like, oh my God, my trucks. My trucks. And so then every year he's been sending them to me. And then this year I finally had to go, no, the case is full. Our case is full.
Right? You've successfully been funny enough about the trucks for the last 20 years.
Yes. Now, what does Andy do when other children want to play? Because I have to say some other children in my building.
He has backup cars for kids. He's like,
not a bad idea.
He has kids come over, they see the Hot Wheels, and he goes, and I have and he always has one. He's like, you can pick one from these 3 or 5, and he gives each of the kids, and we have a bag which has Hot Wheel track in it, and a couple of cars just to play with, and they get a card that they can take home with them.
Wow.
He gives. Well, you remember Hot Wheels are $1.90.
Does he have a podcast too? Can I be on his podcast?
Would you like a Hot Wheel? And
yeah,
kind of, yeah,
I do.
And sure, he's got. I can show you the ones after the ones that are available for gifting.
I do like the buses and the trucks better. Not to be demanding,
right. He might have. He just gave me. Do you see that the ship, the spaceship sitting on top of the printer?
Yep,
that's Star-Lord's Milano ship.
That's great.
And he was like, here, I have that. And I was like, can I have it? And he was like, well, you can have it on your desk for a while. I was like, what's happening here? I believe we're married.
That's so funny.
It's really funny.
That's hilarious. Like he found his weak spot.
Right. He's like, well, you can play with it for a while if you like.
Yeah.
And
don't break it, though.
Then okay. Yeah, you can have it. Anyway, but too funny. So
yeah, okay. So he has those, and he has other people. He has other decoy cars.
He's got decoy cars. That's exactly it.
I've had other kids come in, and they're like, oh, and I'm like, I can't even open up the case because if you break one,
I'm gonna lose my shit.
Right?
Yeah. You have to. You have to have backup cars.
Okay.
We'll show you. We'll show you what Andy's doing.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of different action figures and stuff. And toddlers will just wander around this place, and they'll need to touch everything. He's got a box full of dice that they can play with. And
that's good.
He's got
lots of small things to choke on.
Exactly. I wish he's got this bookcase behind his desk, which is a disaster. And granted, my filing cabinet is a disaster. But I wish it's just all different cards.
Funny. I have such a sense of my own stuff being, but when you look at other people's disarray, you're like, well, no, that's just what it takes to sit and do a job.
Right. He just cleaned his desk off, and so then his filing thing on the back is just.
It's like we got work to do. We have things to do. I can't just be.
He took one of the mixing bowls, and he's got all those things in that. And I was like, I was looking for that mixing bowl.
He does have mixing. Why does he have mixing bowls?
I don't know. I was like, can I get you a different box or something you can put that in?
What is he mixing up? But this is why we need the servants. I understand now why people had back to servants. I mean, I shouldn't be so into that because I'm like totally on the bottom. I'd be the first one that would have to.
You'd
be
have to
servant.
be a servant.
But I'm like,
this point.
That's why. Yeah, because I'm always surprised at like how much maintenance life takes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I am not kind to the environment just because I'm like, I don't have that kind of time.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I had to go get him the reason I was at Best Buy was because I had to get him a new monitor.
Oh.
And
monitor.
It's a perfectly nice monitor.
Yeah.
It's narrower than mine. Now I kind of want a new monitor.
Of course.
But his monitor died, and you can't just throw away a monitor. It's got a lot of electronics in it that will rot the world.
I know.
And need to be ripped apart. And
we should worry about that, even though we didn't make children that are going to have to live in the world. We should be nice.
Right. We're going to need that copper. I mean, they got to strip out all those trace minerals, or not trace minerals. Those are in foods.
They're not doing anything with it.
You don't think? You think they're just stacking it and then waiting for the science fiction movie
I don't.
Where it's a job?
Well, I haven't given a lot of thought to what they're doing with that, but I will say this. I don't buy anything organic because I am convinced that they just put a sticker on there that says organic.
That's not true. You ever see the movie Mother? Albert Brooks?
Oh no.
I think it's from the 90s, and it's with Albert Brooks and Debbie Reynolds plays his mom.
Oh yes.
Which is funny because she's like 15 years older than him. But they're at the grocery store, and he is getting something organic, and she's like, that's a trick, That's just a trick. There's nothing. And he's like, it isn't a trick. And then at one point he picks up salt. She's like, oh, there's not special salt you're getting. And all I could think was, there is special salt you can get. You don't have to get regular.
Oh, there is
iodized
special salt?
Yeah, because regular iodized salt, supposedly, it can lead to they don't know what autism is caused by. It could be vaccinations. What?
Right. Nobody
dun,
knows.
Dun, dun. Wouldn't that be funny at minute 50 in the 700th episode of the Dork Forest? Jackie Cation is revealed as an anti-vaccination person. Guess what? Vaccinate your fucking kids. Okay, please do. I don't have kids. I'm vaccinated, so I'm going to live.
Yeah.
But if you like your kids, go ahead, vaccinate them.
Yeah. We don't want to have an outbreak.
And then if they have autism, just play with them more. I don't know. So
I have to say, I think. Okay, now I'm going to say something. You saw me pause and you laughed. I think autism is it's okay.
Is it also a sticker?
Obviously, there's challenges to it,
right?
But as somebody who I live a lot in my head. I'm like, it is a great comfort just to like tune out others and not have to deal with them. And by the way, I heard that a lot of companies like to hire people on the autism spectrum because they know they're going to stay focused on what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. Well, and there's different levels. Like I used to work with the retarded. I don't know. That is a real term, and that's what they were called. And they were different people, developmentally disabled in different ways, and some of them were retarded physically and mentally. And there are different levels of that retardation that there was like to work with the profoundly retarded, which was the term of people who cannot speak and you have to be taken care of like babies, and they're 14 years old and I'm 22 and but a 14-year-old guy is a man-sized person who wants to grab your boobs because he's also going through
puberty. It's very confusing. I worked at Camp Daisy on Saturdays, and they put me with the big kids, the big boy, and it was. I think I just had to do it a few times. I had to cover, and it was scary because they were strong and they were bigger than me.
Right, they're strong kids, and they're almost man sized, but they're little tiny toddlers.
Yeah.
So in their heads, they just want a thing.
Yeah.
And so they're going to grab it, but they're stronger than you are. So you're like, I may not be ideal for this particular job. And but it's, so there's different, I mean.
Yes, there's different, yes, everybody wants their kids' path in life to be easy. Don't write Jackie letters since I said that. You can write me letters.
Right.
Trust me, that's one of the nicer things I've ever said. I've
been getting a couple of emails. I get emails from people who want to help. There's the normal emails of, that there's extrapolating on somebody's dorkdom.
Oh, okay.
Right. Just going off and saying, if you like that, go to the library and look up this, kind of thing. And those are great. Yeah. And there's a couple of guys who email me and they go into backstories of the different things we talked about. And those are kind of fascinating because you're like, oh, this is also your dorkdom.
Right.
And that's great. And then there's some guy who was, I loved it's just like stand-up comedy. I love your podcast. I don't like it. Then he names a bunch of super popular podcasts because they swear. He just sent me one today and I was like, well, you shouldn't listen to those. There's a million podcasts
I think we swore on here. Did I swear?
I always swear. I'm a swearing person. I would swear as an example, but everyone knows what a swear is.
Yeah,
so it's just my conversational style. So I don't know why he likes me, but he can't stand swearing.
It doesn't sound vulgar when you say it.
Well, I'm a classy lady. I love being laughed at.
And I knew that by the industrial floor in your kitchen.
Exactly. It's but yeah, Andy put that floor in, and because we've talked about Craigslist before. We never did. We're going to have you back because we're pushing an hour.
Because I have like a lot of dorkdoms, but
I need to
work on getting out of the house a little more.
That's
what I have to socialize a little more.
What people don't know is that Dana Gould is also on the spectrum.
Dana Gould.
But Dana Eagle, you have depression issues.
Yeah. And you have bipolar. I have the bipolar 2. I have the bipolar 2 disorder, and then I had, I don't know if I should still be bragging about this, but I had the cancer like 2 years ago, which is why people sometimes
Are you 2 years cancer free?
I would be, but I skipped my last round of tests, so I have to go for my new test.
To your knowledge, pretty cancer free?
To my knowledge, I feel cancer free. Can I tell you something? Cancer was so much like physical illness was, and I had an easy one. Physical illness so much easier than mental illness for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a team. You get a whole team of people who tell you what to do.
Oh, that's because Western medicine knows what to do. They're like,
Right.
oh, we can cut that.
Right.
We can hit that with a hammer. Let's do it.
Yeah,
But mental illness takes nuance.
And also, I have to describe for them what's wrong, whereas with physical illness, they tell me what's wrong.
There you go.
And then last summer, one of my tests did come out weird, like there was some swelling in my stomach. And I remember I was talking to Jimmy Brogan. We're very good friends. And I said, it's weird. I was like, I'm not worried at all. I was like, because I know if something's wrong, there's going to be a team of people to tell me what to do.
Swarming all over you.
Who's going to tell me exactly, but nobody could tell me why Comedy and Magic Club hasn't had me in yet for anniversy month. Like that one I've got to figure out on my own.
Right. That sort of maddeningness.
Yeah.
Jimmy Brogan once, I have received more than one lecture from Jimmy Brogan about swearing.
Really?
Yes. Yes. And I love Jimmy Brogan. He's a delight.
That's funny. He said to me a few times, he's like, I gave so-and-so feedback and then realized maybe they just didn't want feedback.
That is the greatest realization, is when you realize, oh, they didn't ask for input, it turns out. And because the last time, I think it was at the Wendy Liebman.
Tuesdays, the organic.
The one over at where Robert Blake may or may not have murdered
Studio
his wife.
City.
Yes.
We're not doing a good job promoting
Vitello's.
your show. Liebman, organic, something.
Vitello's.
Comedians, Tuesday night, Vitello's. Very good.
Yeah. So Jimmy Brogan comes up to me after, he said, I just gotta, I want to let you in on, on what I think about your set. And I was like, do you need to? And he said he barely even heard me, because he goes, yeah. So here's what I think. And then he went off on this thing, and I was like, great. And then I left.
And then you left.
Right. Because Jimmy Brogan, he worked on the Tonight Show for 20 years. He's been in stand-up comedy for 50 years. He's not without knowledge. He's not.
He knows. But I also think it was a sign of, because I don't think he would have offered anything if he didn't love what you did.
Right. Well, that's the thing is he would not have even talked to me. He would have just nodded politely and kept moving.
Right.
But it reminds me, when I first started doing stand-up, there was a guy named Lou Deck who made us all record our sets for the first time ever. He was like, you got to record your sets. And so we did, and we all had Walkmans, it's 1984. Yes. And then he went over our sets with us. And I've been doing stand-up for about 4 months at the time. And so we're listening to my set, and he listens to me, and he keeps rewinding it every time I swear. And he's like, do you hear that? Do you hear that? You think that's pretty? That's not pretty. And he's like,
that's not ladylike.
And he was just like, it's just an excuse. He did it to Hannes as well. So,
that's funny.
And he said, it's just an excuse not to write. And he's not wrong. When you swear, you're using it for emphasis. And you're using it because you needed to.
Seinfeld calls it a cut across the track, is what he calls it.
What's that?
Like, instead of going around the track, you kind of cut through the middle of the track.
Oh, interesting.
And I was like,
it's a shortcut. Is what he's saying.
True.
Sometimes it's a shortcut, and sometimes it's a shortcut you need to do to get to the other side of the damn joke.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so and if you use it correctly, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
8 Nights of Cheap Shit.
8 Nights of Cheap Shit. Hanukkah. If you describe it as
8 Nights of Cheap Crap, it doesn't hit as hard.
Right.
It wasn't a great joke to begin with.
Seinfeld does one about it.
Oh, he does.
Yeah.
He does another. Yeah.
And he says the word crap, I think. Everyone does.
8 Nights of Cheap Shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, we have so many places now where we're allowed to swear.
Right.
On the telly.
Yeah, because everyone's an adult now. But yeah, I do understand this, because I totally understand this guy who sent me that email, because he's not wrong.
Yeah,
it's overused. It's not. People aren't using it.
God, I have so much the comedian thing now that just wants to say a horrible raunchy word.
Right? Because and you can,
because we're terrible people.
Yeah. I mean, we're not saying fuck that guy. We're saying no, because I think that guy's right. Well, no, because I think he's probably right in many circumstances, but not across the board.
Right.
Because it's not his job. It turns out it's my job.
Right. And there's always the thing of like, Yeah, and I also always feel, and he did do this. He wrote you to say what he liked about you. But when people come up and they start telling me what it is, someone from my mom's little tennis community was like, I listened to your CD. I loved it.
Okay.
She's like, just one thing. She's like, I don't like the word vagina. And I was
She doesn't like the word vagina?
And I was like, how do you feel about cunt?
What do you feel about having one? Do you like that? Do you like it when your husband puts his thing into it? Because that's one of the things I really like about my vagina.
I just, when people come up to you and say it, it's like, well,
I like
wasn't there enough that you like? Bring home the part that you like, leave behind the part you don't like. I can't.
On the Jackie and Laurie show with Kilmartin, one of the first episodes, I was telling her that some woman came up to me and said, I love 3/4 of your act. 75% of it was amazing. The other 25%, and I actually said to the woman, stop talking. Let's just take the 75% and run with it. I don't need to know what you didn't like. I'm not just be psyched.
The whole thing toward you.
Yeah, just be psyched.
Right.
And it doesn't matter, the other 25%. I'm psyched you liked 75%. That's a lot.
Yes. And I've also gotten into telling people when they're offended by something, I'll say, I completely get that. I'm good with that. Just keep in mind, you laughed at something that someone else was offended by. And if I start taking out everything everyone is offended by, then we don't have... Then we just have
we don't have
lecture.
Comedy. We have sentences. Right. We have a lecture of sentences. You guys, it has been an hour. I've been talking to Dana Eagle. And at Dana Eagle tweets.
At Dana Eagle tweets. I got to tweet it. Now I have to tweet more.
You could tweet more. Don't feel the... but How to Be Depressed.
How to Be Depressed, a guide.
A guide is got a really cool cover, too. It's got a real neat...
it feels like a manual. And it has daily negations instead of daily affirmations.
Oh, there you go.
So
it's how to be depressed and to do it bigger, it better.
You want to do it better. How to be depressed had the perks of being depressed in different cities and countries. Perks of being depressed in France. Tell people you're not depressed.
Have you been to France?
You are les miserables. Yes, I have been to France.
Now, of all the places that you get to be, have you been to all those places?
Yes, I have. It's New York, Chicago, Seattle, Los Angeles.
That's awesome, because the thing is so this isn't fiction, you guys. You want to do it right. You want to do it like Dana Eagle has done it.
Yes.
These are real tips. These are real tips of real ways to really get your depression on.
And there's a word find. You can make, fun depressing foods.
Fun depressing foods that you could try. Fish sandwich. The idea of a fish sandwich makes me depressed.
Doesn't it? Fruit salad. The canned kind.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I don't mind it if it's packed in water. What? All right. So, Dana Eagle, you've done the Lord's work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Fun. Yeah, it's been really fun.
I have like 2 more or 3 more dorkdoms. So if anybody drops out on you, I'm available
to come back and talk to me about white collar crime, which I'm kind of fascinated about, because everyone's into murder and you are into
money laundering, embezzlement.
Oh my God. Rangers, you've done vital work by listening to the Dork Forest, and you know the rules out there. Take care of each other.
My hat, my hat, my hat. They're dancing around my hat. My hat, my hat, my hat. Well, what do you think of that? If it looks like a Mexican hat dance and it sounds like a Mexican hat dance, it's most likely a Mexican hat dance. So take off your hat and let's dance.
Yay! Oh my God. Why don't we just call that as the end of the show?